Well, hello.
What's going on, sir?
How are you doing, my friend?
Doing all right. Not as good as Todd McFarlane, but I'm doing all right, man.
Oh, Todd McFarlane is bussing. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Toybox Chronicles episode volume season 15. Today, we have a grandiose topics for you. Are automatically transforming robots like the new collector toy, and what happens when a new player comes in, picks up an unexpected license, and then aims to take one of the biggest brands toy. I don't know. We'll find out. Sit back and get ready, because this shit's about to get heavy. I just settled all my lawsuits. Oh, man, I love that every time.
Oh, yeah, man.
Every time. So, it has been a wild couple of days.
Absolutely.
It's been a wild week since the last time we were here, last Wednesday. There's been some things happening just in general.
Absolutely, man. You know, we survived some news. We saw some toy YouTubers beefing. All kind of crazy things have been popping up this week, man.
I know, it's nuts. I don't know, man. I don't even know. I don't even know where we start.
Well, you know what? Let's do the round
Sorry,
of
dog
the.
toy.
Let's start off with the round of everything else. How it started the fan stream this Tuesday. Transformers 40th anniversary. They showed some items, brought in some other things. The big thing was, as we talked, our secondary topic of tonight is the Robosen Megatron that they showed. That thing is absolutely fantastic. But getting to the fan stream, the same thing that we've said. It's like, look, I love the products that they put up. They've been consistently doing this for like almost every week or maybe every other week. Great job. The hosts, they got to do something with it. You cannot constantly keep showing these dry, boring toy designers and marketing people, because like they don't, if they are fans, they don't legitimately seem like fans, but it just has a way of just like sucking like all of the wind out of the sail when they come on with their dry humor. And it's just like, get professional hosts to do it. Put your product, stop having these guys that are not used to being on the camera, because I think they become like, extremely boring fan streams because they're trying to do jokes. They're trying to be a little legitimately funny when they're not. And it's just terrible dry humor. And I think it suffers when all we really care about, because if they just did a fan stream and they just showed the products and he had voiceover, we probably appreciate that even as more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think we definitely would.
Yeah. So did you see anything other than Robosen that piqued your eye?
From the fan stream?
Yeah, from the fan stream. Any new Transformer products?
Nope.
I didn't see anything either. It wasn't
I don't think they're. I mean, they have the new like the Bumblebee and the Cliff Jumper that they did. That's kind of cool, but like,
nothing really jumped out. I mean, like, wow, like this was a line that I need to just pick up on. I think some of the studio series stuff looks nice, but I think they did like I think it was Bumblebee. They did some Cybertron versions of some other characters, and again, that was all nice, but nothing really kind of like wow, like I actually needed to like take that. They did have a new one of the new comic book series version Transformers that they popped up. That look, the packaging is what makes those things look totally great, man.
The Stratus. Hold on, let's get this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it started. Let's get dude. I love these. These are the ones that I'm gonna be collecting.
This is their best line, I think, so far. If you're wow, well, my lights popped out. Technical difficulties always have to go into it.
I'm pulling up the screen while you go through that.
All right, no worries.
Let's do.
Let's see. Hopefully, we get this done.
Yeah. So here, dude, these.
Yeah, the box art looks fantastic. I love how they use the comic book coloring to do the character. But those are the same. I think they remind me of the VHS versions of the
Legends?
Marvel figures. Yeah, those were really cool.
Yeah, I love the VHS versions.
Yeah. The only thing is if these came with mini comic books, I think that would be like the absolute grim. But the packaging is just right up there, man. Wow, it just looks really
And
nice.
I'm gonna be honest with you. For this one with this packaging, like the $54 price mark, it's really not that bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think look, it's a little bit something. I know it's probably more on the displayable level of it, but you want to keep the box art and you want to keep the actual Transformer. Those are very rare because some of the stuff, hey, we'll get some box art. Some people say the boxes for resale purposes and other people toss them out.
There's also been cases where the boxes are worth more than the toys.
True.
So it's like, that typically happens when it's like you find out that an actual like crazy artist, like a crazy professional artist, did that.
Exactly.
So.
Well, this thing is like again, this is the OG Marvel Comics artwork. That's never going out of style, man.
Dude, you can't So I think, and we've talked about this before over on PixelsPlasticInk, but I think that the art in comics got a little bit carried away. And I like if you just look at this, it's like the color palettes are great. The shading is done with like crosshatch and like I mean this was just like an era. I mean, and you're an artist too, so like I don't know. You tell me, like, do you find this kind of stuff harder to draw than like the fancier shit?
Well, I think that was purely relied on pencil ink, and then you had somebody really actually painting over the artwork. Compared to there a lot of the digital coloring can save certain effects and situations and add little things. And more artists are working digital now too. So your pencils are not pencils anymore. Most of the time, they're probably done on Cintiq. So you're able to manipulate the drawing a little bit more and add different textures and tones. I know some people that don't draw backgrounds. They actually just take living backgrounds and throw them behind them. So you're able to do a lot more. But this was just look, it's the page, it's you, and you better pray to God that your inker didn't mess up the work and that the colors doesn't. But it was a very collaborative effort now where you can manipulate it a little bit more easier. So I appreciate the older stuff from the 80s and the 70s because those guys were just an artist, the paper, and criticism.
You know what I really appreciate is when people subscribe because
Absolutely.
it's free. You don't have to do anything. Just hit subscribe. It doesn't hurt. And we know like 85% of you that watch our stuff, you guys aren't subscribed. That's fine. I don't have a problem with it yet. Anyways, but yeah, subscribe. And then also too, like we think that what you have to say matters, and that's why we encourage you to comment below. You should review the old Happy Meal Transformers that turned into chicken nuggets and stuff. Well, I will work on getting those, and we will do that review because those were epic. Yeah, so I really think that I am for sure leaning in on this. I have the pre-order done. I have the Grimlock one, which is fantastic. But yeah, to kind of touch on this Hasbro
What's going on, Meeks?
Meeks, welcome. to kind of go over like what was being talked about on that fan stream, dude. I'll tell you this. I was bored as fuck.
Yes.
And excuse the English, okay, but here's how it works. You had like, I get it, maybe like you got the one guy where I'm pretty sure he's designing them and he's excited about it. Bro, I love your passion. Your passion is turning out great toys. Get off the fucking camera.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, like I said,
but it's just you don't need to be on you don't need to be on camera if you don't give a shit and don't want to talk to people. And the fan streams are just that. It's just we took you away from a board meeting to have you come in and talk about toys that you could give two shits about other than designing them. So you get bored and there's not the only thing that's like, I don't know how I got excited over Megatron by how boring the hosts were. And look,
the
Hasbro Pulse thing, here's what I think it is. So if you remember, there was a time like we can use Marvel. So there was a time where Marvel, when they were doing announcements, they would get it to YouTubers and people like that, right? And then and then eventually Marvel was like, well, why can't we do this on our own? And then they tried and it failed. And it's like, I tell everyone, I'm like, that it failed because of two things. When someone is hyped about your product and they don't work for the company, it's gonna be more exciting for them to talk about. That's why someone can get 100,000 views on an unboxing when they're talking about it versus the actual companies up showing it and they can't even pull 25,000 viewers. So I think that they're just I hope to the Hasbro gods that they start to get other people on these broadcasts, man.
Yeah, I think, like I said again, I remember I think it was their 1027 Pulse Con where they had Dan Larson and they had I think it was YouTuber Thrawn or something like that from over in English. I didn't think he was that great on it, but I thought Dan Larson from Secret Galaxy or Tory Galaxy, whichever ones they want to call it, I think that he did a fantastic job. And again, you're right. You see the passion in it, and that's the thing that you want to see push through it. You don't always need to have the person that's behind the corporate end. And again, they had a PR person on the show, and that person was terrible in front of the camera. So again, go out and get yourself, like, it's nothing to fly in some talent. You're gonna get, number one, immediate audience popped in because the person that you're going to get is probably a popular YouTuber as well, and they want to see them on the major cast. I think that they need to do something other than having, like I said, the designers or the guys in the back do it, because it just, again, it was absolutely boring, and you're sitting through 35 minutes of that. Then that's way too long. Again, if they just would have shown like just the characters and had a voiceover, I think that would have been suffice to say. I think we would have probably enjoyed that better. But to have two guys that look like they're completely awkward on camera do it, like, no, they have to stop that, man. And again, it made me not care about most of the products, other than I think if you would have had the two Robotrons, I think if you had Optimus and Megatron that just got Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, and they just did voices, that would have been more entertaining than what I saw the other night. So we've been going through this week in, week out, and and it's not just a Transformer team. I think the Star Wars Black Series team, it's not well. I think
that's why I said these designers, like, it's not just one team, like
it's not the one team.
It's just not. It's just they're not meant to get pumped to sell the product.
Absolutely.
And you'll never be able to do a better coverage of your own product than somebody who's obsessed, doesn't work with you, and talks about it more than you do.
Exactly.
So it's, I mean, whatever.
But you know what got us excited though, man?
What?
The Robosen. The Robosen.
Oh yeah, that was good. But I wanted to bring something up real quick. I want to talk about that, but I just did you see the Marvel Legends the Carnage release?
I did see it. Yeah, I saw it dropped. Our affiliate Edmonton Earth threw that information up. Yep.
And then it just sold out everywhere.
Yeah, like it always does.
Like record time. Like
Uh-huh.
it's getting to the point where it's like,
There's no throw for the honey anymore, man.
no, man.
It's like
It's just
this
like
is
you see a school action figure, you can't have it.
yeah,
You suck.
yeah, it's 100% almost piped in for any of the flippers or the guys out there because you're not going to be able to get a hold of some of this stuff without paying exuberant costs. And they're not like they're showing up like we've been talking about at the big box stores. So you're going into Walmarts and everything. It's going to be incredibly difficult to see this. But I remember I saw that the other morning they popped up and said, "Hey, this line is going to be instantaneously." It was sold out. I was like, "Wow." And again, look, it's one aspect I'll tell you it's good is that Marvel Legends is on fire this year.
Dude,
Because
they're killing that, man.
everything that's
Like,
coming out from Marvel, even that Warbird was gone in like seconds.
yeah, it's shady.
I can
Yeah,
just tell you that I am shocked at because it was normally the GI Joe team that was pretty good, but in this one, yeah, that Carnage is off the hook, man. Like I said, but somehow like the Marvel Legends team has really made it tick up this year. I don't know what's happened, but everything they're doing, even like in it, I even like the new box packaging is fantastic for them.
mhm,
Like, wow, man. Like I said, I bought more Marvel Legends this year than I ever have in the entire time that line was
ever.
out.
Yeah,
It seems like the Star Wars team better get their stuff together.
they gotta do something quick, man.
hmm Yeah, like I said, but yeah, it's again. I saw it within seconds. Entertainment Earth popped it up, and I was like, all right, yeah. And then I saw like again another second. It was like, oh, already it was gone, and it started happening over at the other ones, and it happened to uh, oh yeah, brother, yeah, that Ghost Rider. Yeah,
Dude,
Chet and I both pre-ordered that one.
yeah, dude, the Ghost Rider is so sick.
Look, man, I was telling Dr. Brentley last night when we were talking on the phone about the Ghost Rider, and I was like, the thing that's absolutely cool about the Danny Ketch version of Ghost Rider is coming with the motorcycle and everything. But if you're ever a person that read the Midnight Sun comics, like it wasn't Johnny Blaze that drove on the side of buildings. That was Danny Ketch's bike and everything. So I was telling him, I said on display, I said, I'm gonna display it hanging on the side of the bookcase, man. Because I said you got to act like it's going up the side of a building,
Yeah,
brother. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, like I said, the some of their some of the stuff is looking out the box great. Like I'm giving some of the credit to it, but the I never thought that I would be thinking about a an actual buying a product that was like damn near close to $1,000. But
yeah, but
if
this,
anything's gonna do it, it's almost this. Like, when they were talking and it was interacting because every time they mentioned the name or something, it just did it. But it was especially the interaction between Optimus Prime and the Megatron version that they had on the table. And I was like, holy, and it was reciting lines from the G1 cartoon.
mm,
Like, wow. And they said that even Walker actually made new lines for this as well, but just wow. I don't know if the thing I can't you can't call it. I don't know if you can call it toys. This is going in the level of like the stuff that's hot toys and some of the overseas stuff. It's not Meeks. It's not a regular toy anymore.
right.
And I also don't think that this is going to be one of those scenarios where if you're buying it purely for, like, saying it's investment, I don't think this at any time is going to lose money. I think this thing's going to be more valuable the more time you hold it.
Yeah, we also talked about like it's weird for me that this is cheaper than Optimus Prime and Grimlock.
Well, I think they learned a little something. I think the Optimus Prime was, when you heard that price for him, once it went over 1,000, people were like, holy crap, man. You really took a real thought about that. Am I going to buy that? Am
Oh,
I going to buy Grimlock?
Optimus Prime is $6.99 now.
Oh, okay. Well, that's actually
Was it always $6.99?
no, it was a little bit more than that. Because there's a point where it was like, this is out of the realm of existence of me doing it. It was that and the hot toy stuff and these higher end toys. Look, they look fantastic. Like you and I was talking. the Hot Toys, the Hulkbuster. That was probably the greatest collector's item I've ever seen done. It was just sculpted immaculate. But when you saw this thing that's able to move, it's able to transform, you can't compare that to the standard stuff that you're seeing on the market. And if Robosen has this license to this, well, imagine what's these other high end designers out here are going to start doing. What are we going to see next? This reminds me of like in the 80s where you had all the technology, where whether you were at Radio Shack or some other place, there was always some kind of transforming or some kind of toy that walked and everything.
I remember that. Yeah, they had that all the time. Like Radio Shack was big on that stuff too.
Yes, they were.
That is actually a collectible thing Radio Shack has, which was one of their I think it was like it was an advertising piece, but it was basically like a paper robot, but it had like metal hands and it moved, and yeah, that's crazy shit.
And I think there was like one, was it called like Dino Walkers or something? Like they had so many different versions that were popping up, but like I remember every other place, Tyco got involved, all these other toy companies, everybody.
Tyco did Dino Riders,
yeah. If it walked, it talked, it did something, everybody was trying to get on it. Now,
Tyco at the time was trying to like pump out more RC stuff than existed.
Yes, which I damn near probably owned half of that stuff.
Is that a hoverboat? Oh, is that a boat? Oh, is that a helicopter? Oh my god, I need all these.
I remember I think it was the Red Alert, the fire system of the city. Oh man, I remember I had spent the summer of my childhood messing with that, man. I used to love that. I feel shame for my parents because they damn straight hated every time that damn fire truck they ding ding ding, because they had the little bell and that bell was loud as hell, bro.
It was so loud. It was made out of like pure brass.
It was too, but everyone was in that. Well, wait, because I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what other product, like hey, maybe somebody takes the gets the rights to the GoBots and starts doing Transformer GoBots. We'll start seeing that stuff, but there's going to be some competition because high-end toys is something that I think now is really here to stay. I thought Hot Toys was a fad. I'm like, who's gonna, especially when I know there were certain people that were like they have the price plans and you can do it. I said, oh, who's gonna buy?
Oh, you talking about like the layaway stuff?
Yeah, they allowed you to put it on. It's like, yeah, it takes this long to pay this thing off. And I said, well, this is not going to last. And no one's going to buy 12, 14, 15, $1,700 toys. And that's not going to happen. Well, I was wrong because
you stand corrected right now.
Yeah,
my friend.
Hot Toys is moving in, but while a Hot Toy it's nice, it's a statue, it's sitting there, you can put it on a display case. The Robosen stuff that's pure entertainment.
There will be a point in time where I own all three of these.
Oh no, I can absolutely see that, man. Like I said again, I it took every piece of restraint for me not to say I'm just going to pre-order Megatron.
This is what I want, and my birthday is on the 31st. So if you could just get the guys together and do a GoFundMe, if you would like to, hold on, is this like a shameless plug thing here? We can do. I don't even know what my thing is.
Well, we'll talk to her.
All right, if you want to support it, then you can go ahead and support it on Cash App at Please Pay Chet. Yeah, man, these are I love that they did it, and each one of them they've done so well. So it's like I look forward to the next ones they do. And I am gonna be completely honest, though, I'm a little upset that Megatron didn't transform into a gun.
Yeah, that's the only. Well, I know why, but that is the tank is interesting though.
Pew pew. Sorry.
Yeah, like I said, the tank is interesting, and I think it was it was a smart choice, obviously. But if you're anyone, it's not truly the G1, and I think like when you look at like Optimus is the G1 version along with Grimlock, and it's kind of hard, but I more than understand it though. But yeah, I think that that would be interesting, man. That would be an interesting scenario. But you know, the Grimlock is I think absolutely fantastic. But Optimus Prime, but again, it's the voice features. I think they learned more for the Megatron. They took all the technology and everything they were doing from, you know, the first two, and
First,
now
yeah.
they've hit the ground and running. Now I wonder, because you got to think sometime we're gonna probably see, like, you know, Bumblebee or maybe Starscream or something. I'm sure we're going to see some of these other popular characters, because I think this is a line that's going to continue to grow.
You know what we haven't seen?
Who?
HasLab.
Oh, it's coming. Yojo June. If anyone is a huge Transformer fan like they are going to announce that's probably within the next
Think
2
about
to
that
3 weeks,
though.
man.
I'm talking like we haven't seen this Star Wars one they're talking about.
Not yet.
But
yet.
we did
we think we've
see the
seen it.
link.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we think we've seen it.
Yeah.
And if that is it, it's underwhelming. But
well, do you remember when we were talking about that on Friday? I was it was like what was the
it was the Cantina.
Yeah. So, but I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it was for the Cantina, and I was like, hey, I bet we could find these 3D print files. And you guys were like talking. I was like, hey, check it out. And like,
yeah,
within like a matter of like 2 minutes, I found like print files for the Cantina. So if that's what it is, I could just print it out for like $40.
Yeah, and that's a shame too, man, because I think that was the wrong choice, and I don't think that's going to build any fan excitement. And I think they wasted the time not doing the shit, because, you know, again, you know, when the ghost shows up at people's house, they're going to be pumped the same way they were pumped at you know, the Mandalorian ship and the Jabba's barge, sail barge. You know, there were so many great vehicles that they had, and I was like, a Cantina, like, you know. And I know there's been a bunch of people bitching about, well, it should have been the Ewok Village or maybe a Jedi Council, or, you know. So that's just a strange scenario. I know they're celebrating anniversaries and everything, but that didn't make any sense, man.
Yeah, I think the time for the Star Wars one is gone.
Yes,
but they're gonna release it. But here's what'll happen: is they'll just say we want to make sure it's the best experience ever for fans. Like the problem is, like, if I was like, oh, I really want an Ewok Village, and then you made it and you thought it was shitty, and I was like, this is the best thing I've seen ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. I just don't think a Star Wars Cantina, if that's it, is gonna last, because like there's other interest now. Like you could have done a HasLab with GI Joe again, and people would have, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like, again, Yojo June, that HasLab's coming up. It's coming up. And like I said, again, I've already put some cash in the bank and just saving it ready for it, because I said the month of June is the make or break month of the year. It's no longer December now. It's the month of June now. So, but I'm looking forward to that. But the major issue that I'm also seeing that's popping up is, again,
Hit me with
slap in the
people not
face,
subscribing,
brother.
right?
Slap in the face this week, man. Todd McFarlane gets the rights to UFC. What? I just saw that this morning, and I was like, okay, wait a minute. This immediately becomes the toy news of the day. Tom McFarlane, and, you know, he must have been working on this behind the scenes. I remember the Tech Master, who does our wrestling videos, he was saying today, is like, you know, he's going to get probably WWE. Well, TKO doesn't do anything just by chance. They own the WWE, they own UFC. I think Tom McFarlane's about to become a power player, brother, and a big one.
Oh, absolutely. And let's be real, like, and Shadow might get mad at us for this. Well, me,
Oh, yeah.
first of all, but like, if he comes in and does these toys and then starts to pick them up, like, with the, like, if you just look at the higher end labels that are still affordable, so like, let's say gold label, if you're making a fighting character that good, like, you're getting my money. Because if you're making, and McFarlane's really good at making it look like the person it is.
Yes, he does
on his toys, I think. And so, dude, it's
McFarlane usually has a better articulation.
Yep.
He does a better face sculpts.
Yep.
He does a lot of times the better alternative version where it's a la platinum, a la gold versions or something. But the one thing that he gets to do, and this is what McFarlane does extremely well, he does obscure characters extremely well. He grabs characters that we don't think is going to come out. So imagine when he starts going through his own version of all the UFC legends. You know, you're talking about like Chuck Liddell's, the Ronda Rouseys. At the time of their height, and he starts doing gold labels or platinum labels to that. And you know he's probably going to produce some form of the octagon ring or something. McFarlane's going to kill this, man. He is going to show people what it's like to do this. And if I'm Mattel, I woke up this morning scared.
I'm predicting something. Conor McGregor
wow,
action figures are going to be hard to get.
Yeah, that's going to be, I'm telling you, man. And I think with the details and that he does extremely well, tattoos and situations like that. Like, wow, man. You know, we might even see a UFC version of Spawn, for God's sakes. McFarlane's gonna just, again, if I woke up and if I was sitting in El Segundo, California at the Mattel offices this morning,
I wouldn't want
and I was having my lunch and I saw this news pop up, I would think to myself, because I know my license is getting ready to come up, oh God, we're gonna lose this. that's exactly what they should say. We have just lost WWE today. It's like, no, but the news was for UFC. No, we've lost WWE as well.
Yeah, you don't understand that the UFC figures are going to come out and people are going to be like, what are these wrestling figures been doing this?
Wow. And imagine, like, you know, McFarlane's going to up that packaging designs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I cannot imagine just going to be just a detail, because this is probably next to, I know years ago when he got some of the major league sports, like, you know, the NFL and everything else, that was a big push for him. And I know he extremely wanted that. This took me out of surprise, man. I didn't even think that he was even in the running or even interested in this kind of thing. And to see this now, you're like, what can he do, man? Like, you know, what can he do? Can you imagine? Again, I could just see him doing a full octagon ring. Like, you know, and you think that the commentators and everything are just like off to the sides. He's going to do everyone.
Yeah, I was going to tell you right now, man, you know he's going to do commentator line.
Oh my God.
Get a fucking Joe Rogan figure. Like, come on. Because that's where it's going, right? Like, he yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I same with you, man. I was at Mattel, I'd be like, I ain't coming in today.
Yeah, I don't. No, you absolutely had to, in every possible way, get scared, because you're like, he's going to up that game. This was not something that he just went into lightly. I just want these figures or something. Nah, man, he had to go in there with one heck of a push. And the same exact thing. If I'm like, you know, if I'm Jazzware and I'm on the East Coast and I think about the AEW figures, I'm talking to my executives like, what are we going to have to do? We're going to need to pick this up, because like McFarlane's going to give you 100% for this. He's not going to come in with something that looks like half-assed and it's not good or something. He's going in for people's throats in the industry now.
Yeah. Well, I think he's been given, like, we talked about this. I think he's been given like some bad licenses and then just nailed it. Now everyone's like, plus what's crazy is I guarantee you the people that sat down and brokered that deal both were in the room at the same time. We're like, why is this not a thing already? Right? Because you got like we talked about it, but you got heavy hitters on the UFC. Yeah, it's.
Well, here's the one thing too.
I would love to see the roadmap of this.
One thing I can say that this is a good thing for the all of the contributors to the UFC, all the fighters, you know, because when you do merchandise like this, and we've heard this like a bunch of times, because again, you know, we're all in the wrestling fanatics, and I watch a lot of this stuff as well. And I love when the old wrestlers talk about, like, you know, when they got their own action figures and how they continually, how much money they get from royalties in a situation like that when they get their figures.
Yeah.
Now, I can see that the UFC has been historically underpaying a lot of their talent. And I think TKO is probably going to change some of that because you want to keep good fighters around and you want to make sure that they're getting high labels. I think this boosts a little bit of pay revenue because those figures are most definitely going to jump out the water. And I think that that's only going to get that revenue back into some of the people over there that needs it, because this is a good thing if you're a fan of UFC, if you're in any way, shape, or form associated with it.
Yeah.
It's a win-win on everything, even right down to the corporate side of McFarlane, because McFarlane does not act like I don't think they get a lot of impulse or like little contributing things to when they talk to Mattel. I think Mattel says this is what we're going to do, and it's not a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
I think when you go to McFarlane's going to take that all in. If there's going to be something out there, again, he's going to have multiple figures. He's probably going to have some of these guys. I wouldn't be surprised if he did like a little weigh-in diorama or something.
Yeah.
It's going to be big. Dana White's probably going to get his own figure. It's like he's going to, we'll see. Everybody associated with that is going to get a figure, man.
I'm going to be honest. It was also the announcement when you sent it over to me.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like it was just like no shit, it's good. Like I can see that happening. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy for him. So
I think it's bravo, Tom McFarlane. Like you're brokering deals, brother. You're brokering deals.
Big time deals, man.
Yeah, wow. Like I said again, I can't wait to see that. But also one of the big things in the world of toys, while we're still rolling through, it's the Whatnot stream last night. I know we've been talking about jumping on and doing things. We were premiered a while ago, but Chet Maddox's toy room was up, and I know that our buddy Chris has got some stuff, and he's up. How did that go for you last night, brother? Do you think it worked out pretty well, or were you happy with the results? Or
I think it went well, but yeah.
Well, I think if people don't know what Whatnot is, and again, we're always trying to explain, because I know that also Mr. McFarlane was on Whatnot as well. There's it's more, to give a definition of it, I would consider it to be a very entertaining version of eBay that is more personal. And it's not so much about also just hawking you something, but there's conversations given back and forth. There's a lot of banter. It's always interesting conversations. It's always lively, and you're always educated with it. So it's a lot more entertaining than you just walking in Target and picking up a figure. It's more like you're walking to Target, and if the guy at Target is giving you an interesting conversation and everything else like that, and also pointing you to the direction of something maybe you didn't know as well.
Yeah, well, I think for overall, like last night's stream was super fun. It was the second one. We had all the mods in there. It was fantastic. People were talking, so what I mean, we were also streaming on YouTube.
And also there was a lot of comments on YouTube as well, which was cool.
So I think for the most part I enjoyed it, man. It's a lot of fun. It's new to me, but we did it, and I appreciate everyone that stopped by and helped it out. We had Jack's Toybox donate $20, and we were deducting that from people's purchases. So that was cool, man. We it was great. You really do. I think that one yesterday was kind of like a like solidified like the community to me. So you know what I mean, like, because you go on there and then people were talking about like the toys they like, and they're like, oh shit, you're born in 81, like you remember this toy, and you're just like, yeah, I remember that toy. If you have this, no. And then there were some that I showed that I had that people were like, oh man, this guy just it was fun. It was good, man. I enjoyed doing it. I'm excited for the next one, but I'm super excited about Chris's.
Yes, because again, like I like to think that there's toy collectors, or the beer category, where it's like, hey, you love beer, you drink beer, you go to the store, you pick it up. And then there's like the fine champagne. And like Chris is the champagne of toys because his stuff is top notch. It's like a bottle of Cristal being opened. It's like, you don't waste that on a buddy coming over on Friday night watching the NBA. You're like, if you're in the club and you're partying, you'll pop out some Cristal. That's exactly what the high end version of Chris's stuff is. And I know, man, this, like, again, it's like, it's like when you say you have a collection, and then Chris is like, no, Chris has a collection. I just got some toys on the shelf.
I'm excited for Chris, man. I think it's gonna be good. I can't wait for him to schedule it.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, one thing that we're doing, and I think that brought on a little bit more light. We're also streaming at YouTube with the Whatnot app, and I know I saw the comments and everything come on, and I think that a lot of the Whatnot community is starting to see the crossover effect of that, because I know that's what we were saying. We were going to do things that were going to be completely different and open up different avenues. And I think we were the first to ever did it, like a multi-stream on Whatnot. And now I'm starting to see when it's like, because there's a lot of people on YouTube that's extremely interested in the Whatnot whole world and everything. But the one thing I will say about the Whatnot community, I love our YouTube community, but there's some toxicity that's kind of been burning into a couple of places and everything. I have not seen that on Whatnot yet.
It's not allowed. No,
yeah,
every time, like I've been in like a store, and the guy was asked like, "Hey, stop spamming," and it's and then when it gets to the point where it's just like evil, like the guy gets, so somebody's gonna ban him. So it's like, I like it because of that. I think community wise, like it's kind of top notch,
Yeah.
But I guess you have to decide, like, does it really matter? I don't know.
True. And that brings us to the toxicity scenarios. We've been laughing over the last week and everything, because the one thing that I do love about Southern Shadow Nose Network is we don't get involved in like crazy things like that. We can just shut our mouths and let things go, And I think
it's always nice to say, keep your mouth shut, boy.
Just let's let it go. But there's been a huge thing. I'm a G.I. Joe fan. I'm a huge Joe fan and everything. And there's a beef that's going on right now between some people in the Joe community. And it's directed at the Viper Island. I know 3POA. It's Chad, the artist Shark. A lot of guys are involved in something that I think is that, criticism. When you're doing these kind of shows that we do, you're supposed to just enjoy yourself, have a good time, laugh it off, let it go, And sometimes look, if there's going to be a bit of news that somebody's going to be the first on. And I know we've always tried to make sure that whenever we get some outside sources, we tell people the outside sources, just like we point people to other YouTubers channels that we like. Now, from what I understand, that's supposed to be a big no-no that you're supposed to not do that. You're supposed to come up with some kind of beef or something between that. And it doesn't make sense to me, because if you're all enjoying something, why wouldn't I tell somebody to go over and watch like a la the Mad Hatter or one of these other guys? It's like, hey, enjoy this stuff. I enjoy it. You enjoy it. And I don't have skin in the game between all this. I just know that it's gotten to the level where there's been copyright strikes and the DACA requests put in and things like that. All this stuff is just making this where, you're not going to be able to have civil conversations between people. It's gone. And I've seen it too on YouTube as well, where there was a couple, and it was in the G.I. Joe community, unfortunately, where there's two guys beefing that said, next time I see you at the convention, there's going to be a problem. And I'm like, okay, so now we're getting up to the levels of physical violence or stuff. It's like, it's not that serious, man. It's some toys. Enjoy the situation. This is not like you're like, like we're talking about like CBS News and ABC News. You're talking about the war in some other country. You're trying to be the first there. It's like you guys are beefing and having conversations and information over one if you're going to see something and it's on someone's Instagram or something, give that person credit. Very easy thing. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I was on such and such as, Instagram, or this person on X or something, and I saw this and I thought it was cool. And
I mean, it's like a win-win situation, right? Like if you recognize, and you have to say where you get it from, and then if you get to use it to produce content, then that means that I should get something in return,
absolutely.
right? So it's like one of those things where it's like, bro, you can't just be like, oh, found it on such and such Instagram page, thought we'd bring it to your attention. You're still getting the credit, but you're bringing,
and also, you're pointing people. Chances are most of the stuff is you're all in the same community. I know we've been talking about the whole Joe Fest in Atlanta scenario and everything like that. A lot of these guys are G.I. Joe contributors. They're going to probably pop up there together. You're running through the same circles. This is not like, this is a Transformer beef and it's like, Marvel Legends beef or something. It's the same scenario in it.
Yeah.
And these are grown men. This is where it gets to the point of it. This is grown men that are getting conversations, and they're, having, petty kind of things that children would do. It's kind of like, enjoy the stuff that you enjoy. Be happy if there's some news and everything else like that. Be good to one another. And for God's sakes, let's not bring this to any form of like physical violence or anything. That definitely needs to be, because I don't want to be at a convention. I've been at those conventions and I've seen fist fights, and there's nothing more ridiculous than there's children in the corner and grown people are fighting.
You're fighting over plastic.
It's like, so I'm hoping it kind of like ties down. And again, hey, I can tell you, we've had some ugly comments every now and then pop up our way. I choose to ignore that kind of stuff. It's like, not everybody's going to dig what you're doing, and that's their right to their opinion. But I think when we start voicing our opinions, and we start, like, especially off of toys, and you're ready to, like, there's reporting people to, like, to YouTube, and reporting people to other situations, that's where we cross the line too far. If you can't talk civilly to one another and just try to squash that kind of scenario, then worry about yourself. They worry about themselves, and let it go. But because you and I both know, strikes, you get your channel taken away from you. There's policies on YouTube that they don't want to have you guys get here arguing and everything. It's like that. They got advertisers too that they put on the stuff. So let's just say, everyone take a step back, look at the situation, and just say, hey, you know what? Let's just let it go, and let's just enjoy the toys. So that's my commentating of the week and everything. Put love back in the toys. So other than that, man, you got anything else, Mr. Maddox? Anybody else, Meeks? Anybody else got anything else that you want us to go on tonight?
I know.
Well, I know you got some other stuff.
Hold on. We can keep going. There was something I was looking at that I wanted to bring up. Are they good movies? Any good movies?
Meek said it so well. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what? That's, the funny thing that we're talking about this. I was just talking to Dr. Brentley about the avenue of this year's the first year where this is going to probably be a very lapsed summer, because like Marvel's reducing the amount of stuff, so there's not going to be a lot of releases in that. There's a lot of activities brought back into comics. I think San Diego Comic-Con this year is going to be toys and comics.
Yeah.
I don't think and also I know Planet of the Apes dropped this week. How come we haven't seen the actual very good line of Planet of the Apes toys? These movies are making a ton of money. You would think McFarlane or somebody would jump on this, at this moment, But I'm kind of shocked and everything. And then after that, we have Mad Max. How come we don't see any Mad Max toys?
Yeah, no.
especially, like I said, with all the, classic cars and everything that you could chop up and repurpose and everything. In fact, if you've got some old toy car molds, you could probably just build some stuff and then make it through. Yep, I absolutely, Meeks. I think you're right. Meeks said about the Planet of the Apes line, and I think, yeah.
Didn't somebody get that license though?
I it I don't I think NECA, if I'm not mistaken, made the original Planet of the Apes from the 70s, but I haven't seen anything new kind of done. And I'm kind of shocked because all of those movies have done extremely well. And I'm like, no one's really kind of picking up the licenses for that newer stuff, and I'm like, wow. And then I saw it again, Mad Max is popping up, and I'm like, huh. I'm like, it used to be where there was a movie and there was a toy tie into it. And I think there was maybe a couple of these companies are getting a little shy from that because they've been losing, if it's not the right line, it's not the right situation, they're losing a lot of money behind it. But I'm kind of shocked that some of these major items haven't actually been done, So it's very interesting to see that that's not moving in.
Yeah.
So I would like to see that, man. I like to see Mad Max. I like to see OG Mel Gibson.
Dude, Mad Max Thunderdome action playset. Come on, man. Like still like 1/6 scale. Like you're like, all right, man. Where do you want to set this shit up?
Can you imagine the train?
No,
It's
that's
like,
what I'm saying. Like
we get the tracks, the trains, a couple of cars, and everything. Like, why is this not being done? Like, who do we need to petition? I'm supposed to go to the SoCal Joe Fest, and I know there's a couple of designers there, and I'm gonna start asking these people, like, maybe you guys should pick up the line to Planet of the Apes. I like to see, like, again, I want to go through, like, the like the gyrocopter from the Road Warrior. I want to see the Interceptor. It's like get us some stuff, some tie-ins and everything, because obviously my man George Miller is going to keep making Mad Max movies, thank God. So that's definitely something that we should see, your boy Meeks agrees. Meeks agrees.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. Like, and then it just has her screaming when you open it up.
Yeah, like I said, you've got almost 30, 40 years worth of history on that. Like, there's no way, shape, or form. Again, I'm shocked NECA or somebody hasn't actually taken that line, but it would be kind of cool to see some of that stuff, you know. So yeah, other than that, I will be attending this Sunday the SoCal Joe show. I'm gonna be there with a couple of vendors there. I know Fresh Monkey Fiction, a couple of other guys are gonna be there. I know a couple of vendors that's out there. Chet's gonna be at home and everything. So Daddy's not flying in this week. So
No, I wanted to try, but it's not working.
But like I said, I know that on I believe June 9th, we're gonna be at the Robo Toy Show in Burbank, California.
That's
And
exciting. I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, it's going to be myself, Dr. Brentley, Chris. I know Mr. Maddox is thinking about flying in for that one.
Yes, sir.
And I know I'm debating on the Joe Fest because again, I want to go to that, but we have to see how time and everything kind of gets involved. But that would be kind of cool too. So if anybody has any local toy store shows in California or even outside or something, put those up. Let us know if you guys are going to attend any kind of shows, or if there's anything that is in Southern California that we've haven't been. I know Toys versus Games, I'll put that up next week. They're supposed to be doing a retro video game fest. So they're going to do that. And exactly. So those are some of the things that we've been doing. Also, I'm trying to make it out and shoot some video at Frankensons, because that's heating up, and I always like to pop out there definitely for the summer kind of scenarios, because that's when the vendors are really out there too. So but I'm looking forward to the Joe show. One of a good friend of mine that I met through the one last year, and became just really good friends. Joel, he's there. He's a vendor. He does some t-shirt designs. He does some custom characters and everything. Just a lot of talent was at this, and it's not a very large show. but it's gonna be eventually. It's gonna be a big one. So, anything else, Mr. Maddox, before we wrap it up for tonight?
Sir, I wanted to ask you, and I remembered it because I pulled it up.
Okay, got it.
Do you have any? Well, I actually have two things.
Okay,
One is Marvel Legends are super hot right now,
absolutely.
and they are killing it. So next week we are having our very own Chris.
Yes, he
Mr.
is.
Chris will be joining us because he is our resident Legends expert, I guess.
He's moving into that realm.
Yeah,
He's gonna be.
I'll
He'll be loaned as Chris Legends.
yeah, because I'll be honest with you, man. Like the ones I have pre-ordered, I'm excited to get.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a first time, to be honest.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm excited for Wolverine, Deadpool. You know, like all that stuff is great. So I just want to make sure that we knew Chris was gonna be on next week. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be
It is.
fantastic.
It's always fun when he comes on, man, because again, it's like, we're going to start calling him Chris Legends from this point on. It will no longer just be Chris. We'll just call him when he comes on to Toybox Chronicles, Chris Legends.
Mr. Legends.
Yeah, the second
one.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you need to unbox?
You know what? Not this week, but you know what? When we have Chris Legends on, because he has now it's the Zabu Build-A-Figure one that he was talking about, the line that he was just now getting,
Yep.
which are absolutely jealous. It's the only thing I really wanted out of that line is Zabu and Kazar. I didn't care about the other character, and you know what? That's the thing that annoys me about some of the Build-A-Figures. It's like every now and then there's some great Build-A-Figure lines in every figure you want, and it's just a great thing to have. But I don't want some of these other characters that I got to build Zabu with, so I'm probably going to have to spend a crap load of money and have Zabu already built from somebody and pay for that, and just get Kazar, because those are the only two I care about. Yeah,
time it'll happen.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I think we should actually have some Marvel Legends to unbox next week, actually, and it won't be just from Chris Legends. We'll pick up some over the weekend. There'll be the Marvel Legends Wednesday. That's what we'll call it. All right, brother. So, well, hey, man, as always. It's always fun to have you in on a Wednesday night talking some toys. Next week, Chris Legends will be on. Chris Legends.
Mr. Chris Legends. Yeah, again, really want to thank you guys for all being here. Really want to remind you guys that subscribing is always going to be cooler than not doing it. And we're always looking for topics. We're always looking for guests. So if you know of topics or guests that you have, then obviously comment below. And love to talk with you. Love to hear you. But I got some toy rearranging I gotta do. Translates that I need to take off. And Mr. Storm has to unbox a lot more of his stuff to put on shelves behind him, because those are starting to look real pretty, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Try my best.
Yeah, until next week, like I've always said, my entire mother effing adulthood, if you know, well, then you know, and we'll see you at the next show.